Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie, and I am lucky enough to have worked for the Indigo organization for over 12 years. Currently, I'm the general manager of the Indigo Cambridge location, and Indigo Cambridge is one of the newer members of the Indigo family, having just opened our doors last holiday season. In fact, we had our grand opening Saturday, December the 8th of 2018. Yes, you did hear correctly. We opened our doors full throttle, smack dab, right in the middle of the busiest part of the holiday season. With close to 100 brand new customer experience representatives and a brand new leadership team beside me, we embarked on a journey last holiday season that was nothing short of transformational for many people involved. I'm here today in a spirit of honesty and transparency to let you know that last holiday season was actually really personally challenging for me. But I did come through it and into the new year with a brand new perspective on how vitally important it is that we as leaders of people remain protective over our own health and well-being experience. So if you can hang with me for just a few minutes, I would love to tell you my story of last holiday season, but also to share with you the 3 big learnings that I took away from the experience, learnings that I carry with me as a leader today. So spoiler alert, here's what they're going to be. So number 1 is no person is an island, the power of teamwork and trust. Number 2, investment in connection, the power of everyday moments. And last but not least, my personal favorite, don't forget to show up for your own party, celebrating everyday life. So how is it that I came to really internalize these 3 learnings from last year? Well, I will set the stage for you a little bit. It was about this time last year that we had gathered unto us this small army of people that we were going to open this brand new location with. So we took this new team through the loading in process, and we filled the store with all of the things that we would need for the holiday season. And then we took them through the merchandising process, bringing to fruition that beautiful and intuitive store design that we had been given from the outset. And then we opened our doors and we rolled right on through into the biggest compression weeks of the season. And it was as we went through each of these stages that I really began to recognize that our team, through no fault of their own, quite simply lacked the functional experience to be able to really deliver a seamless customer experience in the way that the Indigo customer both expects and deserves. And so it was because of the really high needs that our team had that I made a choice as a leader. And I say made a choice because no one asked me to do it, no one pressured me to do it. But I made a choice to be in the business constantly, 24/7. And I know that many people in this room have been in a very similar situation at one point or another. So to that end, I worked for 2 months straight, 7 days a week, upwards of 17 hours a day. I would race home at the end of every shift and quite literally shovel food into my mouth, what was ever easiest, accessible, usually something terrible, probably nachos. And then I would have a shower, hop into bed where I'd actually continue to do email into the wee hours of the morning, where I would fall asleep with the phone comically plastered to the side of my face. And then I would wake up in the morning and I would do it all over again. So it was through living this experience for several weeks that I became extremely depleted and honestly quite sick. I was feeling very, very ill, and I'd had my own personal medical challenges last year where I really should have known better than to work myself into a state of exhaustion. All the signs of burnout were on the horizon, but I ignored them because I felt that's what the team needed, and that was what a leader was supposed to do. And it wasn't really until a day in December, not unlike the days that we are all about to face, where the needs of our team are very high, the needs of customers are even higher, that I really recognized that I had reached full-on burnout. And it happened when one of my leadership team members asked me a question over the radio. And I responded extremely quickly and extremely bluntly. And I immediately felt awful. It wasn't inappropriate, it wasn't rude, but it wasn't indigo, and it really wasn't me. That's not how I show up for my team. So I found that person on the floor and I apologized to them. And it really opened a dialogue about the pressures that we were all feeling that holiday season. And them, of course, being the wonderful souls that they are, they were actually trying to pump me up. And they said, you know, like, Natalie, if you can't do this, nobody can do this. And then I felt even worse, because what I realized in that moment was that I was actually failing my team. I was failing to model appropriate work-life balance behaviors for them, and I was really doing a disservice to this role of general manager in presenting in a way that was neither sustainable nor rational for anybody in the business. So that really hit me hard, and it took me a minute. And when I finally responded to my team member, this is what I said to them. I said, "You're only half right. If we can't do it, then I don't believe it can be done. Because we have an amazing team, and I maybe have not been allowing you to step up and really show what you are capable of, and that does need to change." So it was that moment of recognition which really helped me to internalize that first lesson, that idea that no person is an island. You are not a one-person army, nor does anyone expect you to be. Last holiday season, I felt at times a very overwhelming personal obligation to be all things to all people at all times, to fill every sick call myself, to deliver on every deadline, no matter what the cost, to myself or others, to really be present for every single conversation that happens. And admittedly, there are times I still feel that pressure, but now, when I feel it, I choose instead to acknowledge it, and I choose a different action. I choose instead to trust in the team. I really spend a lot of time working hard each day to connect with them, to make sure that they feel empowered, that they have the skills and the confidence that they need to really grow into the full scope of their role. You know, I had always prided myself on being a person that believed that you could do whatever you wanted to do in life, that you could be whoever you wanted to be. And last year definitely taught me that some roads are tougher, longer, and less linear than others on that learning path. But there is an intangible something inside of people that no matter how much life experience I get will never cease to amaze me. And the hard lesson that I learned last year was that if you as a leader do not step back and really allow your team to step up and support you and contribute in powerful and meaningful ways, then you really run the risk of missing out on all of these really beautiful, blossoming, unfurling moments that people have when they make great leaps forward as individuals and as leaders. And so by really taking this time to connect and empower and trust the team, I felt that I had a lot more time to actually listen and to connect with people and to really find out what makes them tick. And that really led me naturally to an understanding of that second lesson, which is invest in connection. Connection is a resource. It's not a nice to do, it's a have to do, even when it's busy, especially when it's busy. It is so easy, I learned last year, when your emails are filling your inbox and tasks and competing priorities are filling your desk, to really race through every day and miss out on the absolute meaning and power of the everyday moments that we have with our customers and with our staff every single day. Just those everyday moments. You know, whether it is an awesome customer situation, like one of our CERs, or Ashton's story, that really you carry with you for the rest of your life. Or it's something as simple as choosing to have a coffee or a meal with a coworker in lieu of doing those 3 extra emails, which, by the way, will still be there when you're done. Or it's something like stopping on the busiest hour of the busiest day of the year and checking in with that part-time or seasonal customer experience representative and saying, hey, like, how are you hanging in there? Did you know that there's cookies in the staff room? These are the moments that truly, over time, knit together to form a fabric of a career. And I will actually take a personal step forward and say, I believe that these are the moments that knit together to form a life. And so, by living in this kind of connected and empowered environment, where we're really listening and taking time to check in with each other, that I really came to learn the third lesson. And the third lesson is one that is very deceptively simple, at least it was for me. And that is, don't forget to show up for your own party. Life is a celebration, and it is meant to be lived. I now take time, because of my experience last year, to recognize any small progress that I or my team makes. I celebrate all successes. I go out of my way to recognize personal moments for myself and for individuals in the business. I really do whatever feels right at the time. I celebrate Tuesday afternoon. There's no good reason needed to explore a moment of joy within your own life. There is an absolutely top-tier Canadian, an exceptional human being, and a gentleman that I consider a hero, and I do not throw that word around very lightly, and that gentleman's name is Gord Downie. And I believe that Gord summed up this entire idea of being present and awake for your own life better than I could ever hope to articulate as long as I live. And he did that when he wrote the words, "No dress rehearsal, this is our life." Life is one show only. A lot of the moments that we experience as individuals come once and they never come again. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed to admit that I was not present for many of the meaningful moments in my own life last year. And I disappointed a lot of people in my personal life. But I'm really proud to say that because of my experience and what I learned, I now choose to make myself a priority in my own life. So whether you are a brand new general manager, and this is your first holiday season with Indigo, and you have absolutely no idea what to expect, or this is your umpteenth holiday and you are a seasoned veteran and you're just digging deep to really try and find that energy and that passion to sustain you and buoy you and your teams through this coming season, I really hope that some part of my story finds resonance with you, but more importantly, that you are generous enough with yourselves to allow yourself the time to really reflect on those three big lessons. Lessons about no person being an island. You do not have to do this alone. We work in teams for a reason. Lessons about connecting, even when it's busy, especially and most importantly, when it's busy. And lastly, do not forget to show up for your own party. Do not rob yourself of the moments that are quite literally the hallmark of human existence. You would never accept it in someone that you lead. Do not accept it for yourself. You know, one of the most meaningful things to me as a leader of people is that you get to feel like you make a difference in other people's lives, that you're part of their leadership and development story. But last year, I learned through my own mistakes that you can only really bring your best self to work and be that person that they need if you take time to prioritize your own health and well-being. And so it's my greatest wish for you this holiday season that you take the time to remember, as leaders of people, the myriad and plentiful gifts that you give other people on a day-to-day basis, and that you choose to return that gift to yourself in the form of the gift of wellness. So please do take care of yourself, and as Amanda said, each other, and thank you.